Hello, Cedar Village. It's Rabbi Drew again, and we have arrived at, that's right, the sixth night of Hanukkah. And so what better way to kick that off than, you guessed it, throwing on some lights. So we're going to start with here. This is our sixth from the right. We're going to turn this one on first, then the previous nights, the night before that, the night before that, the night before that, and back to the first night. We got 6 candles lit for tonight, and tonight I wanted to actually chat about Dreidel. You might have played with Dreidel. It's a 4-sided, basically a top. It's a 4-sided top that people like to use. It's kind of almost, it's a nice little game. I'm not sure, you can call it a gambling game if you want. And the way it is played, oftentimes children play with it, although maybe people are used to playing it here in pre-pandemic years, and hopefully next year, post-pandemic, hopefully we'll be able to play it again. That'll be great. And the Dreidel it actually comes from, in Europe, it was a popular game in the 17th, 18th centuries of teetotum was the game. And ultimately by the early 19th century, it had already arrived into Germany. And there's the German word for spinning was drehen. So you have 4 sides to the Dreidel, right, which comes ultimately from this teetotum game, and you have 4 different letters on the Dreidel, which tell you basically the instructions of what the move is. If you're not familiar with the game, you spin the Dreidel. It's got 4 sides to it, and whatever side lands up is what you are supposed to do. So what are they? So they are, first of all, there is Gimel. And Gimel, there are 4 letters in Hebrew: a Gimel, a Hey, a Nun, and a Shin. Okay? Now, what do you do? And these actually all come from, I don't know if they're Yiddish, they're German, Yiddish, but they're instructions. So for Gimel, it is Ganze, which is all. You take the entire pot of the geld that's in the middle of this game. There's Hey, which stands for halb, or half of the pot. And so you take half of the pot. If there are 8 pieces of geld, you take 4 out. There is Nun, which stands for nicht, or nisht, I guess, which is nothing. You don't put anything in and you don't take anything out. And the final one is a Shin, which stands for stell ein, or stell ein, which is put in. So for that, you actually have to contribute to the pot. Whether it's 2 pieces of gelt, I don't know what, different people want to play different ways. But yeah, these four different Hebrew letters on the Dreidel, Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, they are directions for what you are to do. Again, Ganze, you take all of it. Halb, you take half. Nun is nicht, you don't do anything. And Shin is stell ein, which is you have to pay up, you have to put in. So that's it. It ultimately comes from teetotum, which is not a German game, but by the time it reached Germany, so this just, we put on Hebrew letters to inform us as to the directions of the game. But people still play it, and at some point in time, I don't know how this came to be, but people use the letters as a different as a interesting mnemonic device, as an interesting acronym of Nes Gadol Haya Sham, that a great miracle happened there. So they Hebraified it, if you will. They put in Hebrew, and that works actually everywhere in the world except for, you guessed it, Israel. Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there, except in Israel it actually happened in Israel. So in Israel, Dreidels there are sold, instead of with a shin, they have a fei on there, or pei, which is po. A Nes Gadol Haya po. A great miracle happened right here in Israel. So I don't know how they work with the German there, but I guess you just have to pay in instead of stell ein. So I hope this was informative and interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy Hanukkah.